Welcome back to another episode of the Boys on the Bench podcast. We are your hosts. I am DJ Riley, and alongside me, as always, is my brother Dalton Riley and lifelong friend Nathan Eastwood. Nathan, no hat this time. Come on, put it on. Flick it. There we go, baby. There we go. So in this episode, what we are going to do is we are going to be talking about the players that you're most likely to regret rounds 1 through 3. And we're getting this information from Fantasy Pros and their ADP, which is based off of them being ranked 1 through 36. So now with these players, what I did want to preface is we're not saying that these players are going to be absolute bums in terms of fantasy through this entire season. We are just saying that we think that they are maybe a little bit rated higher than their ADP should be and maybe wait off. If you get them in a later round, then you absolutely should take them. But we do think that their ADP is ranked a little bit higher. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and jump into this episode. Our boy Big Nate is going to kick us off. So let's go ahead and go.
Nasty Nate.
So yeah, the guy I want to talk about here is Derrick Henry, running back for the Tennessee Titans, and I know, right? So this can go either way, and I say that because we all know the productivity that Derrick Henry had and has with the Tennessee Titans. The issue is the fact that it's the Tennessee Titans, and he is either going to do really, really well, which we all probably might agree that he will do well, but that is the entire Tennessee offense. Because, like DJ has mentioned in past episodes, Tannehill is the quarterback. They got Malik Willis, and they have I'm going blank.
Oh, Trey
Will Levis. Levis.
Oh, you're talking about the quarterbacks.
Will Levis.
Kentucky product.
And a lot of news has been coming out of Tennessee that he's had accuracy issues. So the only person there to throw the football to is the guy that DJ just mentioned, Treylon Burks. And that's why I think that Derrick Henry could be a boom and or a bust, because a lot of defenses will know what to plan for while playing the Titans. And that is solely to only stop Derrick Henry, because that is all the offense that team has in this upcoming season.
Yeah. So with Derrick Henry and the way that I view him, it's just like you're saying. He is on a Tennessee Titans offense that it all runs through him. And if they haven't been able to stop him in the past, why are they going to be able to stop him now? I am not very high on Derrick Henry this year. He finished top 4 running back last year. Even in PPR leagues, he was the 4th running back last year. So that still speaks a lot. But I think that with the Tennessee Titans overall as a team, they haven't done a whole lot to improve overall. So I think with this Tennessee Titans team, we see them playing from behind a lot this year. And because of that, I don't see them running the ball. Sure, that offense is built around Derrick Henry, but you do have to have a little bit of an ego check if you are Mike Vrabel, and you can't just run the rock every single time if you're 2 touchdowns down, 17 points down, right? There has to be a point of view where you say, I need to throw this ball. I can't run it with Derrick Henry every chance that I have, because you're no longer in those ball games anymore and you need to move on. And I also think with them getting the Tulane running back, Sharp. So I think with them, they're kind of sending a little bit of a message. They spent a higher draft pick on him to get him. He was one of the top running back prospects coming out of college. So I think that they are looking to make a move. Is it this 2023 season? No, not necessarily. So for speaking in terms of dynasty, maybe time to move on. You can maybe get a little bit of good assets from him, but also if you are trying to accept a trade from him, I wouldn't give up too much for him either. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with you, DJ. I think that Derrick Henry is going to be – I think he's going to be the soul of that offense. I think he always has been, and I think they're going to run the ball and continue to. But, to agree with both of you in that essence, I think that he's a well-oiled machine, but when is he going to miss that oil change, right? I think that it's only for so much longer. Is that gas going to run out? Is the oil going to go bad? I just don't know when that's going to happen, but I think it's soon. I think that he is just overused. He's overworked, and running the ball 30 times a game is just ridiculous. What he can bring to your team is opportunity. I think that is definitely going to be there. But if you draft him too high, like we're saying in the first 3 rounds, likely in the second round, beginning of the second, I know some people might even take him at the end of the first. What if this year's the year and now you bargain and you miss that first round pick? It's happened to me before with Cam Akers. I had a huge, high hopes for him, took him in the first round, and I essentially lost my first round pick 2 years ago.
You did that twice, didn't you, Dalton?
Yeah, it seems like that's something that's always happened to me. And so I feel like to, kind of digress from that situation, I feel like Derrick Henry would kind of send me right back into a similar type situation. So that's why I would stay away from him, is just because he's overused. I think that he's still going to get plenty of ample of opportunity, and he could be very valuable for your team. But I would wait to get him later in the draft if he's there. So that's just how I feel about him. Now, another person that I feel that is too high that I would wait and avoid in the first 3 rounds is Mark Andrews. I know a lot of people probably don't really agree with me. That's fine. He is arguably one of the best tight ends in the NFL. The Ravens recognized that they needed a need at the wide receiver position, and so they went and drafted Zay Flowers in the first round, and they signed OBJ just recently. Also, let's not forget that they also still have a former first round draft pick in the 2021 draft in Rashad Bateman, who is actually showing good signs at camp and is proving to be healthy. And so I don't think he's really proven himself yet. And you know what? And a lot of people will say, that's fine because, this might be a run-heavy offense, but Todd Monken's coming in, and he's going to spread the ball around. He's going to throw it all over the field. He's going to get plays, and he's going to use Mark Andrews. Well, I think that unlike a Travis Kelce type tight end, Mark Andrews' circumstances are much different. In 2021, it was the best season of his career. He eclipsed over 1,300 yards receiving with 9 touchdowns. But there was no one to compete with those targets. And that was probably for most of his career. But I don't think this is the case anymore. Last year, he had 847 yards receiving with only 5 touchdowns. He regressed. Now, that's also due to Lamar Jackson getting hurt week 13 and being out for the last 6 weeks of the season, including playoffs. But I feel like his Mark Andrews season is going to be based on Lamar Jackson's being able to stay healthy. But this doesn't account for now the bolstered wide receiver core that's there now that wasn't there in the past. This is arguably can be one of the best wide receiving groups in the NFL. So I don't think Mark Andrews is going to be someone who's going to be relied heavily upon like Travis Kelce is with the Kansas City Chiefs. His current ADP is at 30, so that's like what? The mid-third round?
Back into the third round, kind of. Yeah, mid-third round.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people there in that area that I would probably take I kind of like, the cats behind him, such as Breece Hall, if you're going for like a running back, like him or Najee Harris, who also get a lot of opportunities. Or if you're looking for wide receivers, maybe like Amari Cooper or Calvin Ridley, and there's also going to be good rookies there around that area too. Like I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going around that area too. So I think that's kind of who I would be going to just because of the more opportunities that are there and the less question marks. I know that Najee Harris, there were some areas there that people were concerned about, but he still got the opportunities. And so I think that with Mark Andrews, that with what's going on there and the wide receiving core, I think it's going to eat away a lot of that. And so I think last season, with only 5 touchdowns, I don't know if he can, I think that's probably his new ceiling. So
I'm just real quick. I'm going to cover. I'm going to disagree because tight ends are not. They're far in between in fantasy football, and Mark Andrews is there, and it's been proven since Lamar Jackson has been in the league that that's his favorite target to throw to. And I honestly think with the addition of Zay Flowers and OBJ, and if Bateman stays healthy and plays, I really think that Mark Andrews can have a productive year because he won't be the number one target, and he'll be able to get some more one-on-one looks like Travis Kelce does, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going to go to in as well, is the tight end position and how big of a gap there is. Obviously, we all know that Travis Kelce is up there as number one. He will sit on the throne year in and year out. But then the question mark always comes into as who is next. So in this case, it is Mark Andrews. And Dalton, it's to your point, Mark Andrews, because of his lack of touchdowns, he finished as tight end 4 last year, but currently Fantasy Pros has him as tight end 2. So again, we are not saying that Mark Andrews is not going to have a great season. We're just saying he's not going to finish as tight end 2, because if we look at TJ Hawkinson, who is tight end 3, we see his ADP at 39. So that is what? Only a couple picks after him, 34 to 39, 5 picks after him. So sure, would you be more comfortable taking somebody else in hopes of landing a TJ Hawkinson? Maybe if you're on a snake and you're at the next pick, would you be comfortable taking the TJ Hawkinson at tight end 3? So maybe that's the gamble that you take. I struggle with this just because of that Baltimore offense. You see them investing at the wide receiver position. I know that we mentioned in previous episodes that they now have 5 wide receivers who are drafted within the first round. They have to start throwing the ball to that. Again, we are starting to see Lamar Jackson. He's said it in seasons prior, but he started to say that he's going to be a little bit more reliant on his arm than he is his legs. So maybe that's the case. And with the recent investments that the Baltimore Ravens have had, it looks like more of those shares may be going more towards the wide receivers than the tight end position. But it's also been proven that Mark Andrews has year in and year out been Lamar Jackson's go-to. So I don't know. I'm kind of an in-betweener, but man, I don't know. If I'm at the back end of a 3 and I know that the snake is going to be towards me at 4, I think I pass on Mark Andrews, go with someone like Dalton was saying, like a Jahmyr Gibbs, like a Deebo Samuel, and then hope that a TJ Hawkinson is there. And even if TJ Hawkinson isn't there, George Kittle's going to be there. So if you are dead set on taking a tight end, go at the back end of that 4. Maybe pass up on Mark Andrews, get the TJ Hawkinson. If he's taken, get George Kittle. And I think we're solid. So
If tight ends start to go, though, I would probably start thinking about, what tight end am I going to pick next? Because they are far and few between.
Yes. If there's a little bit of a tight end
valid
run,
point. Yeah, because tight ends can definitely make or break your team. They can help separate that gap that's needed to help win on a weekly basis for sure. But like I was saying, yeah, with the ADP, I don't know if he meets that tight end 2 this year. I think that he could be tight end 3, tight end 4, tight end 5. But like we're saying, I don't know if he's going to meet those expectations this year just because of the circumstances that are there and what's on that offense with Baltimore. So I would rather take something that has more of an opportunity and gets more volume, and I know that that's guaranteed, than something that I don't know yet. So
yeah. What I should have said, though, to kind of back that up is like, expect Travis Kelce to be drafted in the first round. Do not panic. If you start to see a Mark Andrews get drafted, or TJ Hawkinson or George Kittle as the next tight end off the board, then you need to start planning on, okay, my next pick, I need to go tight end because they are far and few between. Don't do it if Travis Kelce goes off the board. Do it when the second tight end goes off the board. Because as soon as you see that second one go off the board, there's only 5 really good tight ends who average you probably 7, 8, 9, 10 points a game. And once that second one goes off the board, everyone's going to be kind of, okay, well, I got to get mine now because in round 5 or 6, I'm not going to get a good one.
Right. Well, you have to be aware of that, right? I mean, that's a good point. Travis Kelce, his current ADP is in the first round, I believe, right? And then you currently have, after that, your second tight end currently in ADP is Mark Andrews, going near the tail end of the third round. That's a huge gap between your tight end 1 and your tight end 2. So I wouldn't fret trying to grab Mark Andrews so fast. I would definitely try to stock up on some wide receivers, running backs, things of those sorts. Because like I said, good running backs go fast too. And before you know it, there's only so many RB1s, and then you're getting into handcuffs and RB2s. So that's definitely something to be aware of, and not to grab someone so fast just because you just want a top end tight end, because RB2 can compete just as well as a tight end. So
Yeah, and I think though to that point, it depends on where you're at on your draft board, because like we're saying that with Mark Andrews' ADP, this is going to land you somewhere around the mid third round to the later bit of the third round where he is typically getting drafted. So that means that, in a typical draft snake, you get to the end of the third round and then it's quickly looping back to you. So if you're at the beginning of the third round, you're not going to pick again until the back end of the fourth round. So is it worth maybe taking that risk on Mark Andrews? Because then you run the risk of Mark Andrews going out mid third, and then TJ Hawkinson to maybe get taken at the end of the third, maybe the beginning of the fourth, and then possibly George Kittle somewhere in that fourth round as well. So then it's like you're ultimately looking at tight end 5. So do you start that tight end run early rather than missing it later, right? So that's something to consider. But also, if I'm at the front end of round 3, if I'm looking at, picks 25, that's currently the Derrick Henry who we're saying, but also at 26 is Ramondre Stevenson. I would love to have Ramondre Stevenson on my team. So I feel like I would most definitely take him over a Mark Andrews, and then maybe take a tight end 5 with hopes of him kind of outperforming his ADP. So anyways, that leads us into our next person. And for me, I'm not really sure how y'all feel, but I can tell y'all I am just not really high on Keenan Allen this year. Past couple years, I have been kind of off board with him and kind of any type of Chargers receiver. I know that we've seen Keenan Allen perform really well in certain weeks. We've also seen Mike Williams perform very well in a couple weeks, but they all always get bitten by that injury bug. Does not fail. One of them Charger receivers are always going to go down with that injury bug. Keenan Allen is getting up there in age. Signs kind of point to it's going to be a little bit of him, right? So, but with all of that said, we saw Keenan Allen have a lot of success last year. We also saw him have an injury, but whenever he returned from that injury in weeks 11 through 18, I don't know if y'all knew this, but in weeks 11 through 18, he was wide receiver 4 in terms of fantasy points per game at the wide receiver position. So he's has the likelihood of putting it up.
Is that for the Chargers? Wide receiver 4 for the Chargers?
No, wide receiver 4 in all of fantasy football.
Oh, between weeks 11 and 18.
Between weeks 11 through 18. So
Gotcha.
I know that we don't really look at 17, 18 as weeks that really matter for fantasy football. So because it's kind of the cutoff time. I know that some leagues only go regular season through 14 and then the new playoffs 15, 16. Some of them do 15, 16, 17. So 18 definitely doesn't matter. Most fantasy leagues do not do that. So we can kind of negate that week a little bit. But nonetheless, we see that Keenan Allen has the ability to put up some sort of success. So does that worry me with having him as my choice? Sure. But not necessarily. We see him now have a little bit more of an injury history added to his resume, but then also another year added to that where he is getting up there in age. We just now also saw that the Chargers are investing in that wide receiver position with them selecting Quentin Johnson with their first round pick this year. So that target share is going to go somewhere else. Wide receiver 3 is brand new, and that's going to be a rookie who was very explosive at TCU. So
and a big body.
Big body too. So, I mean, I know Keenan Allen, most of his career has been a possession wide receiver, but I mean, it's crazy to think that Quentin Johnson isn't going to come in and put up better numbers than wide receiver 3 last year for the Chargers.
And I'm going to agree with you. When Keenan Allen is healthy and playing football the way that Keenan Allen plays football, he's a top tier wide receiver in fantasy football. But it's like you said, it's to the point in his career now to where when is he going to get hurt and how bad is it going to be? And we know Mike Williams has fought injuries his whole career. So Quentin Johnston's coming in, and he, if Keenan Allen gets hurt, like people are saying he's going to get hurt, and a potential Mike Williams getting hurt, Quentin Johnston could be the guy right there in LA for the Chargers. So I'm with you, DJ. To me, it's the injuries for Keenan Allen. It's like the past couple of years. You can get some good weeks out of him, but it's when's the injury happening and how bad is it? So there's other wide receivers I'd rather go over than Keenan Allen. So I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah, with Keenan Allen, I would say he is a surefire wide receiver 2, and he has the capabilities of being a wide receiver 1. He is still one of the best wide receivers in the league when it comes to hands and being able to just, get open. But I mean, a prime example for what injuries can do to your ADP. I mean, let's look at Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase missed 4 games last year and finished as wide receiver number 12. If you told me that Jamar Chase plays full 16, 17 games this upcoming season, and he's going to be wide receiver 12, I'd say you're crazy. I'd say, hell no, that's not going to happen.
5.
He's not going to be a number 12 wide receiver. So, of course, with the injury history of Keenan Allen, I would say that his injuries have been pretty consistent. I don't remember the last time he's played a full season. So the fact that he would meet his ADP, I don't know. Especially if there's injuries, I would say he wouldn't. And so I don't want injury players, on my fantasy team per se. And that's why injuries are kind of very hard for me to get on board with. But even if he did play a full season, there still are the question marks, with the wide receiver group that's there, and bringing in Quentin Johnston. I think that that's going to be something that's going to eat into a lot of the snaps and a lot of the throws going towards, Keenan Allen. So I think that's just where I think the ADP, he's not going to meet that, and he'll fall back behind. I'd rather get someone that's going to get that sure volume and who's going to be a little more consistent on the field.
Yeah, so exactly. And Keenan Allen, currently his ADP is at 33, so he is definitely at the back end of the 3rd round. If you're in a 12-person league, he will be in the 4th round if you're in a 10-person league. But in a 12-person league, he is at the back end of that 3rd round. But if we look at the players just under him, 2 wide receivers, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper. Those are 2 wide receivers I feel like I would much rather have on my team over Keenan Allen. Is Keenan Allen, if he's healthy, going to be able to produce more than him? Yes. But it's like you're saying, Dalton, Nathan, and myself, it's the injury history that worries me. What good do you do on my team if you are out 4 to 5 weeks? That's 4 to 5 losses I potentially face as having a wide receiver 2. Now I'm having to pull somebody else up. Now I just wasted a 3rd round pick for this upcoming draft, or this last draft, and having to use somebody else. Why not pick the Deebo Samuel? Why not pick the Amari Cooper?
And think about, from a fantasy point, how important is every week of fantasy football? How many times have we gone through seasons where we're like, dang, I didn't make playoffs by 1 week.
Yeah,
I didn't make it by 2 weeks.
Yep.
Right. Just the fact that you need Keenan Allen, other than the bye week, you need him. You need him to be reliable every single week. And if he's not reliable, who is going to be replacing him for that week? It's probably going to be someone you snagged in the 8th or 9th or 10th round because, you needed a tight end, you needed a quarterback, you needed all these other players. And now it's, hopefully your bench can suffice and you can find someone who can be a great sleeper, but I don't want to rely on a sleeper, so that's where I believe it's smarter to find someone who's going to be valuable and more consistent on the field. So.
And the last thing that I'll add here before we move on is, we were all pretty unanimous, right? We all agreed that he has an injury bug. We're not really feeling too safe about taking him. And if you take that same mindset into your draft, and let's say that you did take the Deebo Samuel, the person ranked right under him with your pick, and you got Deebo Samuel, hoping that everybody, again, we're at the back end. We are at the back end of 3, hoping it scoops around to us at 4, where we're only a couple picks away, maybe 4 or 5 picks away from picking again. hopefully those people are just as skeptical on Keenan Allen as we are. And now all of a sudden we can maybe get a Deebo Samuel and a Keenan Allen, and we can add them. Again, that is the point of this episode. We are not saying that Keenan Allen is going to absolutely crap the bed. We are not saying Derrick Henry or Mark Andrews are. We are just saying we think that their ADP is ranked a little bit higher than they should be. So anyways, those are our 3 players. We did, boys, it kind of worked out perfect, right? We kind of gave a running back with Derrick Henry, a tight end with Mark Andrews, and a wide receiver with Keenan Allen. So we kind of covered all of the positions within the 3 rounds that you should maybe not take, that you maybe regret, but if they landed to you in the round later in their ADP, 100% take them. So
I didn't even realize that, guys. We didn't even plan that.
no,
That's kind
not
of
at all.
wicked.
I know.
We had a different position.
Worked out perfect. So, but anyways, that concludes this part of the episode, and we are now going to jump into our fan favorite section of Bench Banter. And again, if you don't know what Bench
It's
Banter
just not a fan favorite.
especially if you're Nathan, me and Dalton are. Oof. Anyways, so what this is, it's a trivia style game. Nathan is kind of the dealer. It's like blackjack in a sense, but we're working with teams. Me and Dalton are working together to beat the dealer. Nathan does give us a hint because sometimes these questions are off the walls. So there will be 3 questions. We are shooting for 2 out of 3. Either Nathan wins or me and Dalton win. So Nathan, go ahead, kick us off.
Well, and just so for our listeners, viewers who don't know, currently DJ and I, we're streaking. So
We are.
we're streaking, baby.
Question number 1.
All right.
What team is the only team to never have a 4,000-yard passer for a season?
Oh, there's only one team? I feel like John Elway did it. Broncos. All right. We got 31 more to go.
All right, Nathan, give us a hint.
It was the NFC team.
NFC team. Saints. Drew Brees never did it.
Bold statement, Cotton. Bold statement, Cotton.
Man, okay. So Saints, no. Buccaneers, Tom Brady was there. No. Panthers.
Dude, I wonder if the Commanders. Wait,
No, they had to have.
you think so?
Joe Theismann, maybe. Did RG3 do it his rookie year? I don't know. Cowboys,
RG3 had a good
no.
year.
Giants, no with Eli. Green Bay, no. Man, I feel
Ooh.
like
Dude, I wonder. Because I'm thinking, did Russell Wilson ever throw one with the Seahawks?
Yes.
I feel like he would have had to have. Man,
Dude.
Nathan, this is
All right,
you're
DJ,
making us dig through the weeds.
Yeah, we got.
You want
We
to
do
talk
get
all
it.
that shit.
We have a 16th of a chance, DJ.
We do have a 16th of a chance. Well, we're kind of down to an 8th because we have eliminated a couple of teams.
Well, it's true. We're down to an 8th.
We are down to an 8th, roughly.
NFC. DJ, let's not screw this up and pick an AFC team like last time, okay?
Hey,
DJ.
touchy subject.
Actually, listen to
Lions
the
also
defense.
no. Lions no, Vikings
Yeah,
no,
because Stafford's down for
Bears?
5,000.
All right. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, I think Bears is one. We need one more. Bears and
Kurt Warner with the Rams, so no.
Well, could he have done it with the Cardinals? Yes, more than likely. They went to the Super Bowl.
Well, you also had Carson Palmer there with the Cardinals, too.
It's true.
That's true. Carson Palmer. Thank you, Nathan. All right, we increased our odds a little bit.
No. 49ers, I would say no.
Did the Panthers ever do it, or the Bucks?
That's what I was saying. No, Bucks had Tom Brady. I feel like Tom Brady had to have gone over 4, if anything. Also, Jameis Winston too. I feel like Jameis
Yeah, I was
Winston
gonna
had to
say,
have
he's
gone
definitely
over.
Oh
throwing
yeah,
over
that dude.
4,000
That dude
yards.
throws 80 balls a game.
Yeah.
All right, DJ. So we've got
Bears and who?
Okay,
Panthers.
Panthers. Let's do it.
Bears and
You don't think
Panthers.
You don't think Cutler did?
Cutler, that's who I was worried
Jay
about.
Cutler?
Yeah, he took it to the playoffs one year.
Several years, I think he's went to the playoffs.
Yeah, but the Bears always had a good defense.
Who are we missing? We did the NFC West. We did the NFC. We didn't really do the East. Cowboys, no. Giants, no with Eli. Who else is
McNabb.
Eagles?
Hurts. I think Hurts just did it this year, didn't he?
I was say Hurts would have had to have done it. And then
Also McNabb and Vic.
Yeah. Who's the other team? Oh, the Commanders. Oh, and I was saying kind of no on them. I don't hate the Commanders. Bears, Commanders, and Panthers. That's who we're in.
Do
we go Panthers and Command? No. Nathan's also probably trying to throw a curveball like he did last time, and we didn't listen to him, and we still got it right.
I'm just trying to make sure my daughter didn't wake up again. She keeps moving.
You're gonna have to go feed her. All right, Dalton, what are we thinking?
I'm going. Gosh, dude, Panthers.
I was gonna say I feel like Panthers were one for me. And then I will go
Bears or Commanders. Bears or Commanders.
I'm gonna go Commanders. I'm going Commanders.
Okay, the correct answer is Chicago Bears.
Shut up.
Fuck the Bears.
It is. I don't know why you said the Panthers, because Cam Newton's definitely thrown for 4,000 yards.
Oh, shit.
Well, we're idiots.
All right.
He also ran for 4,000.
We got two. We still got 2 questions left, and we can go 2 for 2. All right. Hit us.
So that would mean that either
I was joking, by the way, with the 4,000 rushing yards by Cam Newton. Just so
question number 2. What QB holds the record for the longest pass thrown through the air in NFL history?
Through the air?
Peyton Manning.
Shoot.
Andy Reid. Punt, pass, kick.
Punt, pass, and kick.
All right, Nathan or Dalton. Let's think of a hint. What's a good hint to ask Nathan?
I'm trying to think of like Mile High Stadium, but anyone could play at Mile High. He'd be a away team.
What would that matter?
Like I'm trying to think of where the ball just flies.
I mean, you got to throw in a factor like arm strength too. Like,
oh, then it's definitely Matt Prater. Then
shut up, Pat McAfee. I feel like the obvious. I mean, I feel like it couldn't be Patty Mahomes. I feel like
It's
it couldn't be.
I feel like Allen has a better arm than Patty Mahomes, though.
I kind of want to know if it.
Okay, is
it currently in the league or not?
Yes.
Okay. The quarterback is currently in the league.
Okay, we're back to.
All right.
To a 16th of a chance.
16th of a chance.
Would it maybe be Aaron Rodgers? Just
all the Hail Marys.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Because them hoes land in the back of the end zone.
Just Hail Mary that motherfucker. He was king.
Out of respect.
But I feel like this could be so easy we can get it wrong with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Like I feel like it'd be so obvious.
I feel like it would have. I mean, maybe. Okay, then maybe
like Nathan's trying to do a little experiment.
Okay,
like how could they?
I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers. Dalton, you go with whoever you think. I'm trying to think who's like an older quarterback in the league. Nathan, you're breathing in
It's
that
the longest pass in
mug.
the air. So it's the it's the longest pass in the air. It's not like a Ryan Tannehill hitting AJ Brown from the 3-yard line for 97
Yeah,
yards.
yeah.
Oh, dude. I mean,
Is he like a starting quarterback, or is it like Ryan or not like Matt Ryan, who's kind of a free agent, hasn't quite retired?
He's on an active NFL roster.
All right.
Can't believe he just gave y'all 2 hints.
I mean, I feel like that was valid though. All right, Dalton, that's what I'm saying. I'm going Aaron Rodgers.
I feel like it could be Aaron Rodgers. I just, bro, we don't choose Patrick Mahomes, and it's Patrick Mahomes.
Come on.
Nathan wants me to hurry and pick it, so it's wrong. All right. Gosh dang. What I mean, Lamar Jackson can hum it.
I think you're digging in the weeds maybe a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Looking in all the wrong places.
Just
All
pick
right,
a
Patrick
damn
Mahomes.
name.
Patrick.
The correct answer is Baker Mayfield.
Shut
What?
up.
How long
Yes,
was
sir.
it?
I'd have to go up and look.
While you're looking it up, drop question 3 on us.
Question number 3 is, what coach has won the most games in NFL history?
Okay, so this right here is for it's for double points. So
For a
No,
tie.
bullshit.
For a tie.
well, Nathan, if we
can
lose,
name
you
the
get
coach
double the
and
points.
we can name the wins.
No. Y'all already lost.
I
You're
feel like
scared.
it has to be
Most wins. Oh, hint, DJ, we gotta get a hint.
Baker
It's-
Mayfield threw it 70 yards.
yuck.
I think his foot was on the line.
He set that out of bounds. All right,
I think we
Nathan.
need to go
What
back.
team?
The hint, he coached. He was an AFC coach.
Bill Belichick is too easy.
I think his long tenured coaching was with an AFC team. And he's currently not a coach in the NFL.
Burgos out.
That
Mike
one's hard.
Shanahan. Mike Shanahan. That's who I'm going with.
That's a good guess.
That is a good guess.
Because, man. John Madden. Except I don't think John Madden coached very long.
What was it, like 6-7 years he coached?
Yeah, it wasn't long.
Hold on, DJ.
Duh, Bears.
Yeah, that's not an AFC, or that's an AFC team there.
Trying to throw DJ off there, hoping he'd go Dicka. He could have coached in the AFC.
AFC.
All right, y'all hurry up and pick.
Who do you think, DJ?
You know what? I'm for double points. I'm going to lock in what Dalton said. For double points. We're both locking
This
in
shit is not
single.
double points.
We're
You
locking
already
it
took the
in.
loss.
All right. Tell us if we're
You
right.
took the loss.
No, tell us if we're right and we'll guess the wins.
Double points.
No.
That
You
means
can't,
they're right.
you can't get double points. What
means they're
coach
right.
did you say?
Mike
Wait,
Shanahan.
what coach did you say?
Mike Shanahan for the Broncos.
Oh, both of y'all are going Mike Shanahan?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Oh, who is it?
So, do you admit defeat? I want you to admit defeat right now.
Oh, I bet DJ. I bet I know who it is.
Who?
Who is it? For
I
double
bet
points.
it's Tony Dunn. I bet I'm gonna say Tony Dungy. Tony fucking Dunn. I don't know.
That's still wrong.
I was say I don't know
Gosh,
actually.
dude.
Don Shula
Oh, I knew it should.
for the Dolphins.
I was about to say I knew it had to have been the Dolphins. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, that was an 0 for 3, Dalton.
You went from all
We
that
can't
shit.
win
you
them
were-
all, dude. I guess
We went from
this is where
We swept Nathan last week. We got swept this week.
You went to a dirty 30 to an undirty 30.
Well, I guess this is where we stop streaking.
Yep. Time to change the underwear. Anyways, all right. Anyways, thank y'all so much for the listen. This concludes our episode. And again, like we said earlier, don't draft the players where their current ADP is. Always look at what you think that they are going to be valued as and where they could potentially be. Because if you can see where their ADP is at and get above that ADP, you will always have a more likely chance to do better in your fantasy leagues. So thank y'all again so much for the listen. If you'd like to connect to us, look at our website at boysonthebench.com. And through that, you can get connected through all of our socials and join everything that we are a part of. And we would love to see this grow. So thank y'all so much for everything. And we will see y'all next episode.
See y'all later. Take a kicker first round.
Pleasure riding the pine, boys.
Won't regret it.